Greetings. Good evening. This is your brother Chief Kalanago. Let me just make sure I have audio on here. Give me 1 second. Make sure we have audio on here. Hold on for 1 second, please. Hope everybody's having a good day so far, man. I want to go to YouTube real quick and just making sure. That's lesson 3. I want to go to okay, 1 2 1 2 1 2. I'm gonna have to go on the inside because I'm getting a lot of feedback out here with the wind. So give me 1 second. Let me just go on the inside. All right, cool. So this should work. This should be okay. Make sure the volume is up so y'all can hear me properly. Volume is up. All right, cool. Okay, so we're about to get into lesson 4. All right, lesson 4. Now, once again, please keep in mind that this channel is created or was created for educational purposes only, right? And my job as an educator, is to bring knowledge and information that's not being taught. And therefore, the indigenous people of America, they are literally lost. They have lost their roots because they don't know who they are. All right. So my goal is to give you information outside of his story. I'm going into prehistoric books. I also put the link of this book, the PDF, in the description. So you have that so you could do your own research. I tell people, please do not believe anything that I say. All right. Do your own due diligence and do your own research. My goal is just to expose you to the information. With all that being said, I want to enlighten the people of Dominica, of YT Kubuli, all right, so that they're able to broaden, okay, their scope of knowledge and not just be caught up in a box, with the information that was taught in school or is being taught and being pushed by colonizers, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start reading the book. It's about 30 pages. We have a lot of reading to do, but it's all right. Let's read. Reading is fun for the mental. So let's get into this. I'm going to share this link and we're going to read the PDF. We're going to read the book. All right. I hope y'all appreciate the information because it is time that we invoke some change in YT Kubuli, misnomered Dominica. All right. If you have already missed a lot of the information, lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, please go back. All right. Because all of this is leading up, to a grand, finale, if there's one. But the knowledge is always continuous. But the main purpose, like I said, to me, the grand finale is to enlighten, all the people, that are actually from YT Kubuli, whether they are still here or they have traveled overseas. Okay. So this book is titled An Inquiry into the Distinctive Characteristics of the Aboriginal Race of America. Okay, because remember, America is a continent. Truth be told, America was only one landmass, and due to colonization, they separated into 2 continents called North and South America, and eventually they introduced Central America. All right, just so y'all know. American is a race, and I'm going to show you this evening. I'm going to point that out. All right. So let's go ahead and read. And that book is by Samuel George Martin, MD. Like I said, the link is for the book. The PDF is in the description so that you're able to do your independent reading. Okay. Let's scroll all the way down. We're going to start at chapter 1. Okay. So we are actually, like you see how they have Aboriginal Australians or Australian Aboriginals. We are American Aboriginals. All right. We are American Aboriginals. But Nobody is teaching us that, because the goal is they want to keep you thinking that you came from somewhere else. All right. Now, if that's you hold on to that belief, then the land will be exposed to anybody who discovers it. Right? Doctrine of discovery, the paper bull, etc. So that's what this is all about. Okay, paper genocide. All right. So we are going to talk about ethnography. Okay, ethnography. That is the first title, or necessarily not title necessarily, but subject or first topic of discussion in the book. All right, so let's read. The analysis and clarification of the races of men is essentially a modern science. Okay, so basically, the whole race concept is something modern that was created, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the 18th or the early 19th century. But anyway, that's neither here or there. All right, let's proceed. At a time when nature, in her other departments, had been investigated with equal zeal and success, this alone remained comparatively neglected. And of the various authors who have attempted its exposition during the past and present centuries, to many have been content with closet theories in which facts are perverted to sustain some baseless conjecture. Hence, it has been aptly remarked that Asia is the country of fables, Africa of monsters, and America of systems, to those who prefer hypothesis to truth. Let me just kind of just make that a little bigger. The intellectual genius of antiquity justly excites our admiration and homage, but in vain we search its records for the physical traits of some of the most celebrated nations of the past times, or the past time rather. It is even yet gravely disputed whether the ancient Egyptians belonged to the Caucasian race or the Negro, and was it not for the light which now dawns upon us from their monuments and their tombs, this question might remain forever undecided. The present age, however, is marked by a noble zeal for these inquiries, which are daily making man more conversant with organic structure, the mental character, and the national affinities of the various and widely scattered tribes of the human family. Among these, the Aboriginal inhabitants of America claim our special attention. So, regardless of the different races of men, supposed races of men, the focus now is on the American Aboriginal, the Aboriginal inhabitants of America. Now, for those of you who don't know what Aboriginal means, let us go look at the etymology of Aboriginal. Okay, etymology, etymology of Aboriginal. So we're going to look at the etymology of Aboriginal. Okay, etymology of Aboriginal. Aboriginal. Because I really want to open up your mind. You feel me? Because people have been brainwashed and miseducated. And my goal here is to bring education and knowledge. Okay? So that, when they try to trick you, you have enough information to stand on the foundation of truth. So let me stop sharing the book here for a second, and let us go to the etymology of Aboriginal. What does it say? Aboriginal, first, earliest, existing from the beginning. Okay, so the first, or the earliest, or existing from the beginning, especially in reference to inhabitants of the lands colonized by Europeans. All right, hence Dominica falls underneath that banner, because Dominica was colonized by Europeans. Now, most people think that these Europeans were Caucasian people, what you call white people, but nobody's white. So I don't call them white. I call them who they are. They are pale people, they are peach, and most of them are Caucasians. Not every so-called white individual is Caucasian, because within the Caucasian race itself, or the Caucasian group, there are literally over 50 different ethnic groups of Caucasians. All right. So just know that Aboriginal first, earliest, or existing from the beginning, and those are inhabitants of a certain or any particular land. All right. Let us go back to the book. Now that you know what Aboriginal means, go back to the book. So when we speak of the Aboriginals of America, we are talking about the people who were there from the very beginning, the first inhabitants. Okay? This vast theater has been frowned from immemorial time. Immemorial means from a very long time, like a time without limit, so to speak. All right. So people have been, it's been a theater, all right, or speculation for a very long time by numberless tribes which lived only to destroy and be in turn destroyed without leaving a trace of their sojourn on the face of the earth. Contrasted with these were a few civilized communities, whom monuments awaken our surprise without unfolding their history, and who would unravel their mysteries may be compared in the language of the poets to a man standing by the stream of time and striving to rescue from its waters the wrecked and shattered fragments which float onward to oblivion. It is not my present intention even to enumerate the many theories which have been advanced in reference to the origin of the American nations, although I may, in the sequel, inquire whether their genealogy can be traced to the Polynesians or the Mongolians, the Hindus, the Jews, or the Egyptians. Nor shall I attempt to analyze the views of certain philosophers who imagine that they have found not only a variety of races, but the several species of men among the aborigines of this continent. It is chiefly my intention to produce a few of the more strikingly characteristic traits of these people to sustain the position that all the American nations accepting the Eskimo are of one race, and that this race is peculiar and distinct from all others. So this author is saying that all the races in the Americas, the different ethnic group in America, the races of men in America, they are of one stock, except the Eskimo. So basically what they're saying, when you see one American Aborigine, you have seen the other. Whether you are in North America, South America, or Central America, once you have seen one, you have seen all. And that is true. Look at the characteristics of all the American Aborigines that's across the Americas, and you will see our body structure is literally the same, although the complexions may vary. Okay? Now let us look at the physical characteristics. Number one, physical characteristics. It is an adage among travelers that he who has seen one tribe of Indians have seen all. So much do the individuals of this race resemble each other, notwithstanding their immense geographical distribution and those differences of climate which embrace the extremes, heat and cold. So once again, they are reiterating on the description of the Indians. Now, a lot of people say, oh, well, we don't like being called Indians. Stop. Stop. Yes, American Indian or Amerindian is also a misnomer. I get it. But what we have to realize is that the treaties that were signed, they were signed with our ancestors, okay, going under the banner or coming to what I call a consensus of us being called American Indians or Amerindians. So those names are literally encoded in treaties. Okay, so I'm okay with being called an American Indian. Hence, you have the West Indies, the Indians from the West, the Caribbean Indians from the Caribbean. You see what I'm saying? It's in the words. But once again, people are not taking the time to break down that information and giving you other external sources except for the colonized institutions that's teaching you or teaching everybody that we're from Africa. But I'm going to debunk all of that. Now, like I said before, a lot of the information and knowledge that I'm going to share is going to be a culture shock. And a lot of people are going to think I'm crazy, but it's okay though. It's all right because I'm going to show you the proof. Because we have been so attached to the lies and the misinformation and the brainwashed information that we are just so attached emotionally to Africa, thinking we're Africans. But I'm going to prove to you that we're not Africans. Okay, let us proceed. A half-clad Fuegian, striking from his dreary winter, has the same characteristics, lineaments, though in an exaggerated degree, and the Indians of the tropical plains, and these again resemble the tribes which inhabit the region west of the Rocky Mountains, those of the Great Valley of the Mississippi, and those again which skirt in the Eskimo on North America. So they're saying that whether you are from the parts of the United States, whether you're from, the Caribbean, it doesn't matter where you're from. All the American Indians, they have the same type of body structure, and that is true. Okay? All possess alike the long, lank, black hair and the brown or cinnamon colored skin, the heavy brow, the dull and sleepy eyes, and the full and compressed lips, and the salient but dilated nose. Now, my brothers and sisters, let's pay attention to the descriptions of the original Aboriginal American Indians. What does it say? Right here. If I were to highlight this in blue, what does it say? All possess alike the long, lank black hair, because all my hair grew all the way down to my lower back. All right. I mean, literally years ago, I had locks down to my shoulders. If you saw my father had a tall afro, and my father looked like an American Aboriginal. But you see, again, we are being taught that we came here on slave ships, and that's a lie. And that's what I'm going to debunk. All right? I'm going to debunk that. So please do me a favor. Get all your emotions out of this, and let us look at the truth, the facts, outside of the colonized institutions that we are being taught that we all came from Africa. Okay? So what does it say once again? What I just highlighted in blue. All possess alike the long, lank black hair, the brown or cinnamon. Now, let's take a look at all the so-called Native Americans in the United States and in different parts of the Caribbean. They call the Caribs and all these people. That's not their description. That's not their description. But yet still they're telling you that these Mexican-looking people, they are the Caribs. No, they are not. Those people are not the Caribs. Those people are literally Spaniards mixed with some of our people, some of them. But they are actually Spaniards and East Indians mixed together. They are not the original Caribs. Now, like I said, a lot of you, that's going to be a culture shock to you, and you're going to think I'm crazy, but it's okay. It's all right. Trust me. I've been called worse names by giving facts and truth. Like I told y'all before, I was one of the first ones teaching the truth in the United States on the internet. And everybody thought I was crazy. Now it's popular because all the research and all the documents are surfacing now. Why? Because we live in the age of enlightenment. Everything that was done in the dark must be brought to light. And I'm here to bring my people here in Dominica, my brothers and sisters, I'm here to bring you into the light and prove to you that you are the original people of this land, the so-called black people. And I'm saying so-called because we are not black. Look at your complexion. Do me a favor. What part of your skin is black? What country is black from? What flag represents black? Black means slave. Stop calling yourselves slaves. Okay? I'm here to shake the foundation of all the lies. That's what I was sent here for. Okay? Now, it says the complexion is brown and cinnamon colored skin. Okay? What does it say? The compressed lips and the salient but dilated noses. Now let's look at these two words, salient and dilated nose. Let us look at that description right here. Okay, salient and dilated. We're going to look at those two, the meaning of these two words. And dilated. Now, what does salient means? Salient means most noticeable. Okay, something that's prominent, primary. Okay, most notable. Now let us go and look at what that word is. Give me 1 second. Dilated. I know what dilated means. Dilated means wide, but just for the purpose of doing this lesson, I'm going to show it to you what dilated means. Let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to share that information with you so you could see it for yourself. All right. Here we are. Dilated. What does it mean? Dilated means enlarged Okay, widen, expand. That's what dilated means. Widen, enlarge. So you're looking at a prominent nose, lips, brown, cinnamon complexion people. Okay? Those are the Aboriginals, the so called people you call black. They're describing so called Negroes. And I'm saying so called Negroes because we are not Negroes either, because American is a race. Our race is American. And I'm going to prove that to you. Let us proceed. All right? Let us continue. And once again, I know this is going to be a culture shock, but it's okay. That's what I was sent for. That's my purpose. Let us read. These traits, moreover, are equally common to the savage and civilized nations, whether they inhabit the margins of the rivers and feed on fish, or rove the forest and subsist on the spoils of the chase. It cannot be questioned that the physical diversities do occur, equally singular and inexplicable, as seen in different shades of color, varying from fair, which is a fair tint, which is light skin, or red skin complexion, to what? Almost black. So let me ask you a question. If this is the description of all the American Aborigines, where are the ones in Dominica that are so-called black? Okay. But like I said, they go from a red bone, what you call a red bone, what we call in the United States a red bone or light skin, okay, to what you call almost black. So I'm going to ask you this question again. Where are the American Indians in Dominica that are all that what they call almost black? Where are they? Well, guess what? I'm not black though, but I'm one of them. And many of you in Dominica, over 90% of the people in Dominica are American Aborigines. Our ancestors were already here, particularly our mothers. Our mothers were already here. Okay, and in our culture, we had a matrilineal system. What does that mean? It means that the inheritance was passed down through the mother. And the colonizers came and they had a patriarchal system. And a few of them married our indigenous women so they could get title, what's called allodial title to the land. Okay? I'm teaching y'all facts. Let us proceed. And these two, under circumstances in which climate can have little or no influence. So also in reference to stature, the differences are remarkable in the entire tribes, which moreover are geographically proximate to each other. These facts, however, are mere exceptions to a general rule and do not alter the peculiar physiognomy of the Indian. The physiognomy means the facial feature, okay, which is on deviantly characteristic as that of what? That of the Negro. Okay, let's read this again. So once again, my brothers and sisters, you were lied to. And my ancestors sent me here to wake up the people of White Kubuli. Okay, the people who think they are black and from Africa. Let me tell y'all something. You are the original Caribs. You are the original Arawaks, because guess what? The Caribs and the Arawaks are the same people. I'm going to break that down as well. I'm going to break this down as well. Like I said, man, we have been lied to. We have been bamboozled. We have been brainwashed. Okay? Our people don't know who they are. Check this out. It says what? These facts, however, are merely exceptions to the general rule and do not alter the peculiar physiognomy of the Indian, which is undeviantly characteristic as that of the what? Of the Negro. So let me ask you a question. Go look at these Caribs and see how many of them look like the Negro. Over 90% of them don't look like the Negro. They are not the original Caribs. Y'all think this is a game? Like I said, man, I came here to shake all this up. All right? Let us read. It says, for whether we see him in the what? The athletic Carib. Okay? The Carib, or they spelled it here as Sharib, or the stunted Shama in the dark Californian or the fair Boreal, he is what? He is an Indian still and cannot be mistaken for being of any other race. You hear that? The Carib was the Negro. And it says what? It doesn't matter whether you saw him in the Carib, in the athletic Carib, because we have an athletic build. So when you see our people excelling in athletics and all these things, because that was the nature of the American Indian. We were a very athletic people. That's how we were built. Let's read this again. Okay? It says, for there were, for wherever you see him in the athletic Carib, okay, with the people you call the Kalinago, or the stunted Shama in the dark Californians, whether it was from the Caribs of the Caribbean or the Californian Fear Boreal, he is what? He is an Indian still and cannot be mistaken for any other race. Okay? The same conformity of the organization is not less obvious in the osteological structure of these people, as seen in the squat or rounded head, the flattened or the vertical. Hold on for 1 second. The vertical occiput of the high cheekbones, the ponderous maxillae, the large conjugular orbits, and the low receding forehead. I've had opportunity to compare merely 400 crania derived from the tribes inhabiting almost every region of both Americas, meaning that North and South America, and have been astonished to find how the preceding characters in the greater or less degree prevail them all. Basically, they are saying that, and this is, I'm telling you, this is archaeological study and research, where they took the skull of our ancestors and compared them in North America, and they said these people are the same. They are of the so-called Negro stock. So let me ask you a question. Who are these people on the Carib reserves? They call the Caribs. They are not the original Caribs. Just like how the people in the United States, they're not the original Native Americans. And I'm also going to teach y'all about that as well, because that trick was played all over the Americas. They put people in our place to replace us. Like I said before, I know this is going to cause a lot of controversy. I don't care. I am here to restore and reclaim my birthright. Okay? Because I'm tired of seeing my people suffering because of the lack of knowledge. You feel me? It's if you want to hide anything from a Negro, put it in a book. Well, guess what? I'm not a Negro. I read. I love to read. Okay? I didn't always, used to like to read, but I found an affinity for reading. And I've read so many books, it's not even funny. Okay? This remark, and pardon me for my passion. Okay? I'm not shouting. I'm just passionate about what I teach, because when you're teaching the truth, you have a certain passion, okay, and a conviction that, it comes out. Okay? So that's what this is. This remark is equally applicable to the ancient and modern nations of our continent. For the oldest skulls from the Peruvian cemeteries, the tombs of Mexico, and the mounds of our own country are of the same type as the heads of most savage existing tribes. So they're saying that, okay, whether you're from Peru, Mexico, the United States, guess what? The skull of these people are the same, and they are of the Negro stock. Okay? Their physical characteristic proves the origin of one to have been equally the origin of all. Okay? So once again, let me ask you a question. Who are these people on the Carib reserves? All right then. The various civilized nations are to this day represented by their lineal descendants who inhabit their ancestral seats and differ in no exterior respect from the wild, the uncultivated Indians. At the same time, in evidence of their lineage, Clavigerio and other historians inform us that the Mexicans and the Peruvians yet possess a latent mental superiority which has not been subdued by the centuries of despotism. All right, now the original Mexicans are people who look just like us. And when I say us, I'm talking about people who you would call so-called black or so-called Negroes. All right, the people you call Mexicans today, they are not Mexicans. They are Spaniards. They are Spaniards mixed with East Indians and Mediterraneans. They are a mongrel people, a mixed people. And they are the same, they are the majority of the people that you find in the Carib reserves. The people with the kind of like the Mexican hair. They are not the original Caribs. They are not the original people of America, period. Okay? Those people came from Spain. They are Spaniards. If they were in Mexico, they would have been speaking Spanish, and they would fit in just as well, because guess what? They look like the people in Mexico, the people you call Mexicans. They are all related to the people on the Carib reserves, the ones that look like the Mexicans. All right. The observation, the observation of the Malona and the Humboldt are sometimes quoted in this proof of this prevailing on uniformity of the physical characters. Molina says that the difference between an inhabitant of Chile and Peruvian is not less than between an Italian and a German. To which Humboldt adds that the American race, remember, American is a race, okay, contains nations of whom features differ as essentially from one another as of the Circassians, Moors, and Persians. But all these people are of one and the same race and readily recognized as such, notwithstanding their difference of features and complexions, and the American nations present a precisely parallel case. I was at one time inclined to the opinion that the ancient Peruvians who inhabited the inlands and confines of Lake Titicaca presented a congenial, con, congenital form of head entirely different from which the characteristics or characterizes the great American race. Nor could I at first bring myself to believe that their wonderfully narrow and elongated crania resulted solely from artificial compression applied to the rounded head of the Indian. This, that such, however, is the fact has been indisputably proved by the recent investigations of M. D'Orbigny. This distinguished naturalist passed pardon me, many months on the able land of the Andes, which embraces the region of these extraordinary people, and they examined the desiccated remains of hundreds of individuals in the tombs where they have lain for centuries. M. D'Aubigny remarked that while many of the heads were deformed in the manner to which we have averted, others differed in nothing from the unusual conformation. It was also observed that the flattened skull were uniformly of those of the men, while those of the women remained unaltered, and again that most elongated heads were preserved in the largest and finest tombs, showing that this cranial deformity was a mark of distinction. So the Peruvians, what they would did, a lot of them, what they would do rather, a lot of them would flatten or elongate their heads. All right. So, but the women, they would not do that to the women. All right. But to do away with any remaining doubt on the subject, Miss M. D'Aubigny has ascertained that the descendants of these ancient Peruvians yet inhabit the land of their ancestors and bear the name of Amaras, which may have been their primitive designation. And lastly, the modern Amaras resemble the common Quechua or the Peruvian Indians in everything that relates to physical conformation, not even excepting the head, which, however, they have ceased to mold artificially. Submitted to the same anatomical test, the reputed giant and the dwarf races of America proved to be the mere inventions of ignorance or imposition. A careful inspection of the remains of both have fully satisfied me that the asserted gigantic form of some nations have been a hasty inference on the part of unpracticed observers, while the so-called pygmies of the valley of Mississippi were mere children who were, for reasons not wholly understood, were buried apart from the adult people of the same tribe. Thus, it is the same American Indian from the southern extremity of the continent to the northern limit of the range, and is the same exterior man, with somewhat variable stature and complexion. His distinctive features, though variously modified, are never effaced, and he stands isolated from the rest of mankind, identified at a glance in every locality and under every variety of circumstances. And even his desiccated remains, which have withstood the destroying hand of time, preserve the primeval type of race accepting only when art has interposed to prevent it. So what they're saying is that whether it's from North America to South America, the American Indian, they are literally the same people. They look alike, all right? Yes, some of the complexions may vary, all right? And it's only when, you see a great distinction, it only happens in art, all right? In art, when it's interposed and when it's perverted. You feel me? And that's the problem. Our people are being taught by this so-called colonized perspective in the educational system because they don't want the people of whites equally. In other words, the so-called black, I'm saying so-called black because we are not black, but the so-called black people in Dominica, they don't want them to know that they are actually American Indians. And that's why when I did my DNA, a private DNA test, it came back and said what? I am American Indian. Okay? So I'm just solidifying what my DNA is showing from reading different books, prehistoric books. Okay? Now they have moral traits. We're not going to do the moral traits, okay? Because you have the book, so you could go ahead and read it yourself. But I just showed you the description, all right? Brown, cinnamon, to literally all what they call almost black. And they said the Carib looked like a Negro, so-called black. So once again, I'm asking you, who are the Caribs in the Carib Reserve? You feel me? All right then. Let us we're not gonna go with the moral traits. You could read that for yourself. I just want to show you the physical traits. And then we're gonna scroll all the way down. This is not a long read. Okay, so you could read that for yourself because I put the link in the description. And stop teaching your children the truth, family. Well, lineage, stop teaching. Then we have the intellectual faculties. We're not gonna read that. Okay. We're not gonna read that. That you could read by yourself. Because I don't want to make these videos too long because a lot of people have short attention spans. Okay, so I just want to show you, just get to my point. Then you have the manner of the intimate. We don't have to read that. Okay, you could read that on your own. What else do we have? What else do we have? What else do we have? Then we have the appendix, right? And then he's just basically saying the research that he has done. All right, on and that was on the 6th of July, 1841. The writer said, I made the following communication to the Academy of the Natural Sciences of Philadelphia, and now extract it from the proceedings of the Society of the Date. So this was archaeological research that he did, and he put it in the Natural Science of Philadelphia in the United States, talking about the peoples of the Americas, describing them that the original people of the Americas were so-called Negroes. Even the Carib was a so-called Negro. All right, then. Like I said, man. Okay. And you have all that information right here, right? Uh-huh. Talking about the different skulls and the measurements and all these different things. That is actually in the National Museum of Philadelphia right now. That stuff is well documented through archaeological research. Okay? All right. Let's read some more. Let us see what we could find here. Because we have to break down the different races of men. Okay? All right. They're talking about the Peruvians, the Incas, the Olmecs, the Aztecs. All those people were people of so-called color, people that look like us. All right. But because of colonization, these people came in and mixed in and whitewashed. Okay? All the original people, even the original people of Mexico, they took them and they shoved them in the rural so-called country areas. So when you go to Mexico, you see this Spaniards, okay, and you're thinking that they're the original Mexicans. No, the original Mexicans are people that look just like us. All right. And when I say us, I'm talking about the so-called Negro or the so-called black people. But I'm not black and I'm not a Negro. I just want y'all to know that. I have to keep reiterating that. Okay. My race is American Indian. I'm giving you the truth. You do what you want with the information. Some people may ask, well, Chief, well, why is all this important? Why is this, pertinent? It's important because you're being treated like a foreigner in your own land, not realizing that. Okay? So once you know this is yours, once you know your ancestors were the original people here, then you have a different love for white equality because it's yours, it's your birthright, it's our birthright. Just like the entire Americas. That's our motherland. And I will give you more information to solidify the things that I'm talking about. Okay. All right. The valley. They're talking about the Mississippi Valley, all that. So we're talking about from North America to South America. We are all the same people. All right. And my DNA, like I said, I've done extensive DNA traces of my lineage, and it proves and shows everything that I talk about. You feel me? Okay. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. So they're talking about the crania of the Negro race and all that. All right. Uh huh. Measurements and everything. Right. Now check this out. The classification of the human species. The following classification is a slight modification of the published in Micrania America. The races correspond with those in Professor Blumenbach's system, which latter differs but little from that of Buffon. The subdivision into families is based upon ethnographic analogies, both physical and physiological. Now you have the Caucasian race, all right, a Japhethic or Indo-European branch. Then you have the different breakdown, all right, the Pelagic or Caucasian family, the Germanic family, the Celtic family, the Indotanic family. Then you have the Semitic or the Syro-Arabian branch. You have the Arabian family and you have the Hebrew family, right? Then you have the Hamitic or the Egypto-Libyan branch, the Neolithic or the Egyptian family, the Libyan family. Then you have the Mongolian race, right? The Mongolian Tatar family. You have the Turkish family, the Chinese family, the Indo-Chinese family, and the Polar family. Okay, those are all Mongolians. You did. All right. Then you have the Mali race, the Mali family, the Polynesian family. Then you have the what? The American race, which is the American family, and the Toltecan family, talking about the Toltecs, the Aztecs, the Mayans, and the Olmecs. All those are original people from America. So that is the American race. That's the American family lineage. My people, we are not from Africa, man. And I'm going to continue to give y'all more proof. Like I said, I know it's going to be a culture shock because what you have been taught. But what they did not teach you is that South America gave civilization to Africa. You feel me? And I'm going to show you documents to show you documents outside of his story. Okay? I'm going to show you books where you could find that information. Then you have the Negro race because we are not Negro, we are Americans. Stop thinking that the United States is America. Go look at lesson 1 and lesson 2 and lesson 3. I already broke that down. Okay? All right. Then you have the Negro family. Then you have the Cafaranian family. Then you have the Australian African or Hittite family. Then you have the Oceanic Negro family. Then you have the Australian family. Then you have the Turks, etc., 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 etc. All right. So that concludes the reading of the book. Like I said, you could read the book in its entirety. I gave you the link. Okay. Now, what I'm gonna do is a lot of time when people hear the term Red Indian, they don't know what that means. So let me show you what Red Indian is. My brothers and sisters of White Kubali, I'm going to give y'all the truth. I'm going to give y'all the facts. You do what you want with the information. If you want to stay brainwashed, if you want to stay lost, and you want to keep thinking this is not your birthright, then it's up to you. But you suffer because of your lack of knowledge. Hosea 4:6. God, people perish for the lack of knowledge. My ancestors took me out of White Kubali as soon as I graduated from high school to go on this journey, to embark on this journey, to study and learn. And trust me, the journey was not easy, but it was worth it because it made me who I am today. And I came back. I'm talking about visions and dreams. I had to come back and teach my people. And this is just the beginning. Okay? Let me show you what Indian red look like. Now, I'm not sure if they had this in Dominica, but in the United States, They used to have Indian red, Crayola Indian red. All right. And then they took it out of circulation because you know what? Once they started teaching these pale people with the Native Americans in the United States, they had to take it out of school because they would like, hold up, that crayon in school doesn't look like the Indians they show us on the reservations. Well, my brothers and sisters, guess what? This was Indian red. And those were the crayons they had circulating. Okay, they had those circulating in schools, and they took it out because people was asking too many questions. As you could see, look what Indian red looked like. So when you hear red Indian, stop thinking of red-skinned people that nah. It is a dark brown. That's what Indian red is. That's what Indian red is. All right. Look at chestnut, just like chestnut. Okay. So we are Indian red. We are the red Indians. Okay. Because when you look at our skin, there's a red undertone. Even if we are dark skinned, you'll see it. Okay. That is Indian red. Now, let me show you something else. Like I said, I'm here to show you facts. Okay. I'm here to show you facts. I'm going to show you when you see what's called ruddy or red Indian again. Let me show you what ruddy is, what ruddy look like, because when people hear the term ruddy, they're thinking of red. No, let me show you what ruddy animals look like. So when you see a ruddy animal, you will know what the American Indians look like. Look at it, ruddy. It's a brown, cinnamon, cocoa, chocolate, golden people. Okay. Now, do you see what ruddy animals look like? Most people who are not well studied or don't do research, they will not know that's ruddy. A ruddy is actually brown. I'm telling you, man, knowledge is power, lineage. Now, let me show you. Let me go show you a ready bull. Ready bull. Check this out. Look at a ready bull. A ruddy bull. Look. You see ruddy bull? Look, check this out. Brown, almost black. Look, you see? That is ruddy because people don't know the etymology of words. So we are being tricked because our birthright was stolen. Okay? Our birthright was stolen. Now, let me just show you a couple etymology of some words. So when you come across these words in descriptions or complexions, you know exactly what they are talking about. Okay? Because people don't know etymology of words. Most people don't. So let us go look at the etymology of brunette, because when you think of a brunette, most people think brunette. When they hear brunette, they think Caucasian. But look at brunette. Etymology of brunette. What does it say? Of a woman, dark complexion, having brownish tone to her skin and hair. So you see what a brunette is? So all my sisters running around here thinking they're black. They're not black. They are brunette. Okay, they are brunette complexion. They are ruddy complexion. They are copper complexion. All right. Let us look at the etymology of blonde, because when people see the word blonde, they start thinking of Caucasians. All right. So love who you are. You feel me? Check this out. Blonde. What does it say? Of golden brown or golden brown color. So even brunette, I'm not brunette. Blonde is brown, like a gold. That is us. We are children of the sun. But I'll get it. I don't want to scare y'all. We'll get into that another time. I don't want to give you too much, because when people hear the truth, man, they get scared sometimes. All right. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into the what you call it. I'm gonna go into the Noah Webster 1828 dictionary, and let us go look at the definition of American. Noah Webster's 1828 dictionary. Okay. Definition of American. Let's see what it says. Let's see what it says. American, a native of America. Look at the word. Originally, okay, originally applied to the what? The Aboriginals. What did I show you Aboriginal meant? What's the etymology of Aboriginal? Original inhabitant. The earliest. Okay, from the beginning. Okay, look at the complexion. Copper colored. The copper colored races found here by whom? The Europeans. Now, when people hear Europeans, they always think Europeans mean pale people. No, I'm going to prove to you and prove to you and prove to you and show you that the original people who came here in 1492, they were not pale people, meaning that so-called white people. They were not. They were people of color, so-called black people. They were the ones who came here and enslaved and fought our ancestors. And I'm going to prove it to you. Okay, but what does it say? But now apply to the descendants of Europeans born in America. So what they're telling you, the people who are born in America from Europe, they took our places. Like I said, man, knowledge is power. Hosea 4:6. God's people perish for the lack of knowledge. Okay? So don't let nobody fool y'all. Okay? Don't let nobody fool you. This is just the beginning. I'm about to open up your mind to a whole new set of knowledge and information. Let's go to Google. Let me show you pennies. Cluster of pennies. And you'll see what I'm talking about. What did it say? The copper-colored races found in Americas, found by the Europeans. All right? Look at this. Pennies. Now look at pennies. Let me go ahead and share this. And when I'm done, I will conclude this video. Because I don't want these videos to be longer than an hour, okay? Because it's a lot of information. And trust me, it could go for a few hours, literally. I've done video with knowledge, giving knowledge for over 5 hours sometimes. Now you see the complexions of the American Aborigines from like they say, from a light skin, red bone to as dark. You see the color of pennies? That's why they called us the copper-colored races. The copper-colored races. Because our complexions vary just like the pennies. From a red bone, red skin, to all the way to a dark, to almost black. Okay? Let me stop sharing. I'm going to show this to you. Give me 1 second. Let me show this to you real quick. And like I said before, man, you know, this is going to shock some people, but it's okay. I'm not here to pacify you. I'm here to give you the truth. I'm here to give you the facts, and you do what you want with the information. Ain't nothing I could do when I give it to you. The rest is up to you. Literally, the rest is up to you. Okay? See this? That's why they call us the copper-colored races. All right, based on your location. If you're in the tropics, then you get dark to almost what you call black, right? And then if you're in where winter and it's cold, then you stay light or lighter. But our complexion vary from a red bone, light skin to a dark skin. But remember, it's in the hair. The hair is called a 9 ether hair. Okay, where it naturally has a curl. All right, the 9 ether hair. All right, not like these so-called Mexicans in the Carib Reserve. They have what's called a 7 ether hair. Their hair is 7 ether. They are not the original people. Okay? All right. Trust me. I'm well studied. I know what I'm talking about. So this is what it is. Okay? The copper-colored races, that's what we are. We are Americans. All right? So my brothers and sisters of Whitey Kubuli, I'm about to conclude this lesson 4. I want to thank y'all for being a part of this this lesson. Take notes. Go ahead and just read the book. You know what I'm saying? Like read it in its entirety. I just wanted to go and show you the main parts to open up your mind some more. I have a whole lot more coming to verify and prove the things that I'm talking about. All right, but share the information. Let people subscribe to the channel. Let it grow, because my goal is to educate the people of Whitey Kubuli, aka Dominica. Dominica is a misnomer as well. All right, so I want to educate the people, because once they know this is their birthright, they're going to have a different type of love for their own. Okay, and that's when change will take place. That's when change will take place. Okay, so this is just the beginning. So you guys have an amazing continuation. I love y'all, and I'm going to continue to do what I was sent here to do. I'm here to serve my purpose. I'll talk to y'all soon. Take care. Look forward to, make sure y'all look forward to lesson 5. Like I said, subscribe to the channel, share the video. It's going to help in the algorithms. All right. And hit the notification bell so you don't miss the lives. All right. Peace.